it's very difficult to maintain sufficient depth at the approaches. The approaches, I think, would require something like about 8.5 water depth in meter water depth in calm water, which means that the approach channel should really be somewhere around 10-11 meters. If I'm not wrong. In that case, maintaining this kind of approaches to the open sea ports like Kołobrzeg, which comes first into mind, or Darłowo would mean extending the breakwaters very far outside where they are now. So these ports are not prepared. On the other hand, the deep sea ports, Gdańsk and Gdynia, of course, there's no problem with them. They are even expected to accommodate the largest ships that can enter, say, on the Baltic, so there's no problem with them. And of course, the big seaport of Świnoujście is also available, but the routes to it would be quite difficult. The approaches have to be dredged. So from the point of view of approaches, it seems that these large ports are good for the construction operations, which probably require the larger vessels, while the smaller ports could be thought of as the background or hinterland for the maintenance operations. Maybe this is the way it should be thought about. But I have some thoughts, and also I would like to have some messages. Can I have them now? First of all, I represent the maritime administration, which comes from the so-called maritime economy part of the Ministry of Transport and whatnot. Now, please, this maritime economy thing is very misleading, because we are not, and this ministry is not, involved in economical matters. It's really a ministry or a part which is a Department of Maritime Affairs. We are involved in general management and maintaining appropriate safety for all activities which are related to the sea. The economy is in the Ministry of Economy, and most of the problems you have voiced here already should be addressed to the Ministry of Economy in terms of government, this national government. There's also a lot to be done by the local governments, the regional voivodeship, and the municipal or town governments, self-governments. And the presented at the very beginning report of Arcia about the involvement, it really says that, and I'm sorry I didn't hear the very clear conclusions which come out of this report. This report clearly says that the local governments are not taking up the chance that is given to them that they have these very large and important ports. Only 20% of GNP production by the ports is really it's a scandal. It should be somewhere around 60–70%. I wonder how many people from the town authorities are present in this room, if any. But there's a big change of thinking required, and all of us, I have been trying to do it, but for some time, should do everything to change this very bad attitude. Otherwise, also this industry will have quite significant difficulties. Secondly, I have been already for some time asking how much space and what are the is the managers of the ports. What are they thinking of installing various kinds of industry inside the port area? And that also the new requirements for instance, for the wind farm industry. And they have no idea about that. It's still a view that the ports are a kind of entrance of a tube. And this tube then passes the cargo somewhere, well, outside even the region. That's, among others, why this region has only the average participation in energy and heat production in the terms of the whole nation. That's absolutely wrong. So, but sadly, this is outside the maritime administration competence. All we can do is, well, raise these questions because we are interested what we should do, or in the terms in which we are able to, what we should do to ensure that there is enough space in ports, not taken up by housing, a very popular tendency at this moment, because this gives quick money. It's a one-off experience, but still comes quick. So why not change a part of the port into housing? And so that we should ensure also that the sea space and approach space is organized so that there is achieved a win-win compromise between the lots of users that are involved in sea space use. So this is why we also have been for some time talking about the very important issue of connecting wind farms with lands and the basic grid, the places where this grid should come on shore, the ports required for building and then operating the whole system. And well, a series of other issues which are related to space management and safety, also arranging wind farms and ships according to ship traffic according to, so that they can live with each other. Also fishing and so on. These are my short remarks. I also would like to say that there was a picture showing the wind farm location, possibly wind farm location, shown on the web page of the Polish Ministry of Transport. In practice, this may change a bit. For instance, due to certain shipping safety considerations, probably the eastern part of this area may not be possible to be used. On the other hand, after some discussion with other authorities, for instance, the army, but this requires a long discussion, some part of on the west could be used. I don't want to, prefer not to go into that.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the audience? Would you like to ask some questions to our panelists? In such case, I would like to summarize slightly, because this is a kind of expected conclusion, one of the expected conclusions from the seminars, and I am very glad that Mr. Cieślak was so kind to express the concern of the authority, whether the issues of the spatial planning and strategic planning in the port areas and the coastal cities are going in good direction. And I hope the Polish Offshore Wind Energy Society would contribute a bit to facilitate the discussion that should start immediately at the local, regional, and finally also the central level, how to develop the infrastructure, how to reconvert the infrastructure to facilitate the local development based on the industry which is emerging, the innovating industry which is offering for the offshore wind energy in Poland. I am convinced this year we should start this discussion, and this year we should find at least some first conclusions. And taking another advantage from this seminar, I think this should be an opportunity to gather in a group of experts, decision makers, politicians, and maybe representatives of the business also, to make a review of the possible directions of the development. I find very interesting the case when the Germanische Hassan has prepared this type of study in Germany, as we learned from Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. I think this type of task would be very encouraging to be done when we are thinking about the real and appropriate strategic planning. I suppose there are some representatives of the Maritime Institute also here present, and I do count on building a group of experts which could invite the politicians and decision makers to take part in that type of work. Right now we are reaching the second leg stretcher coffee break. This one is a short one, 15 minutes only, so please be effective drinking coffee. If you have not left us your visit cards, please be so kind and put it into the box at the table, at the door. And if somebody of you have not signed the list, please be so kind and make us this favor. Thank you very much one more time. Thank you, Mr. Spadris, and welcome to coffee.